And welcome to the latest tutorial from Excel Academy. This one is going to go over how to format your table. So let's say you have data, someone drops it down, maybe it's a budget, maybe in this case it's looking at revenue for a fake hotel, the Grand Budapest Hotel, we'll call it. And you need to put all these pieces together. We're going to walk through exactly what that looks like and some pretty simple ways to format your table, your data. Before I get started, make sure that you hit that like button and you subscribe as well so you get updates going forward, because there are going to be plenty more videos about Excel and frankly how to get more out of it. So let's hop right in. See over here, let's format the columns. If you'll see here, all these are pretty mushed together. Obviously it's not good for reading. A really simple way to fix that is to just click and then just drag across. If you click in between any letter, or if you're doing it for a row, any of the numbers, it automatically fits it to the largest phrase, character, number that you have in that particular column. So let's double click, and now you can see that this is actually showing hotel bookings. And you see our first guest here, Alex Wobe, for Arsenal fans. You can see the date more clearly. And just to go back really quick, if you notice down here, 11 all the way down through 23 is mushed together. That's something you'll see in Excel if you have basically not enough space to show the data there. So that's what you're seeing with the dates. When we auto-fit it, then all of that goes away. Obviously it's easier to read, and you can read the headers as well. So this is formatted now so you can read it. You can see some of our hotel guests here. You can also see the dates that they're staying, the region that they came from for our fake hotel brand, the hotel manager, length of stay, and then the cost per night, right? So how much it costs to stay, 1 night, 2 nights, etc. And we're going to figure out the total cost as well, which this is a good example for a spreadsheet. So a lot of times, at least in my experience, you'll get data and you have bits of the information, but it's usually incomplete. If you're dealing with state or local data from governments, if you're dealing with a spreadsheet that your coworker started at the beginning of the year but only kind of fills in halfway, it'll be really important to know formulas and how to, again, put these pieces together so you'll be able to get basically core answers to the business questions you need answers to. Anyway, we formatted our columns. Next, I think it would be good to have a title. So let's just call this Hotel Bookings. We'll keep it really simple. We'll throw it in here. Make a new folder. And then we're going to merge these. So you're going to go down to Format the Cells. This is on a MacBook too, so if you were on a PC, it might look a little different for you. And then we'll see here at the alignment. So I'm just going to merge these particular cells at the top of the page. All right, so you have a nice clean title that's going to be eye-catching. So we'll say Hotel Bookings. All right, hit enter. Let's make that a little bigger so it catches your eye. Let's go 16, and then we're going to center it too, so it's easier to read. All right, so we have that. Let's make that bold too. There we go. All right, so we have our title. We formatted our table. Now, if we look, we probably want to see the beginning of January of this fake month of bookings. We want to see from the first going all the way out, counting down, or counting up rather. So what you want to do next is, of course, sort your dates. So start here and click over here. You'll see, go from oldest to newest. You think, oh, oldest, that means February. Not at all. In Excel, it's the total opposite, right? The oldest date in a calendar year is going to be the first one that appears, which in this case will be January 1st. So now we've sorted that. Deborah Martin was our first guest of the year. Hats off to you, Deborah. And Sue checked her in. So we have our title. We've sorted our dates from new to old. Actually doing from old to new. Look past that. Next thing you want to know, let's say if you are the night manager, is what's the total cost of someone's stay? They checked in on the first. They're only staying for 2 days. And when they check out, what should they be paying you? So in the previous tutorial, we went over sum and average function. If you used Excel before, you're probably doing this in your head. A couple ways to do this, but we'll just use the relative cell values and then apply that formula down. So a simple way to do that is to just click on the length of stay, right? So it's 2 days times the number of days. So the multiplication sign in Excel is the asterisk. So you hold Shift and then 8 for an asterisk, and then just going to select the number of nights, the cost per night times the number of nights. And when you do that, it's $216, right? So 2 nights times $108, $216. If we wanted to do a more complex example, you could add in something like taxes and say that's times plus 8%. There's a formula for that. Or if you offered a discount, let's say someone's an influencer and say they get 1 night free or 30% off their first night, something like that. You can apply those and just add another column. Again, keeping this really simple, so multiplying the number of nights someone is staying times the cost per night we have here. And if you used Excel before, you can just apply this all the way down, right? We have data here, so it's stopping. Other thing too is that this is set up in 2 different categories I'm trying to come back to. And for now, what we're going to do is just going to click and just drag this down for the example. So we're going to talk about categories later on. All right, so now you have a nice clean view of exactly what's happening for your costs, the number of nights someone's staying. You can see the guests clearly now that we formatted the table. And then if we go down, we're also going to look at the revenue, right? So we just looked at that. So let's figure out our total revenue though, right? This is going to be simple sum formula. Just going to use a shortcut here, go down, bottom of the table, and we're just going to hit equals sum. My fingers have a mind of their own today, apparently. And I'm just going to highlight all of these. All right, then close parentheses. Let's see, we're at G and row 42 over here. Alex Awobi again. All right, we're just gonna hit enter. So we are 9 days into February and we've turned nearly $17,000 in profit, or in revenue rather, not profit, from the hotel stays. You'll see if we take a closer look here that if someone stays for 2 nights, it's about $110, $115. If they stay for 3, it goes down to about $5. The first example we used was $108, so it's a little different. But tried to do for this is really just create kind of like a sliding scale, as it were, for the nights that someone stays. Someone stayed 14, for example. Theo Walcott stayed for 14 nights. It's been a very nice vacation that he was on. And we knocked it down to $88 per night at the Grand Budapest Hotel. So that is how you find total revenue. Also going over how to find the total cost for a particular night, right? Total night, the total stay. How to sort your data. How to add a title. This is particularly important if this is not going into something like Power BI or Tableau, where it's a bit more sensitive to formatting. If the spreadsheet is going to be the main thing you're using to track information, then it's absolutely fine to add titles or formatting. You could even add a background color and make it light blue and change this around to white, for example. So it really pops out for whoever's going to be looking at it. So that's basically it. Oh, one more thing. So write categories for your data. So I mentioned before that there were 2 different formats before. If you'll see now, obviously this isn't currency, so it's translated to dollars. That's because this first column was in currency format, currency category. If we were to switch it to something like general, it would look a little closer to what we saw before. I'll just drag this down to see. So there's no currency indications. Even if you have dollars over here, the number of nights over here, it'd still just come out to just a flat number, wouldn't translate over. Whereas, again, really important to know what category you have selected. So, which of course in this case, we want to be currency. So I'll switch these back, just highlight them, click and drag, and then switch this over to currency again. And then you can see some really nice clean lines. Now, you do have dollars and cents here, but if you had a situation where there was no tax or there were no cents here, you could easily just, let's hover over here, decrease decimal. So if you're not working with currency, which of course this is a currency example, you might want to get rid of some of the extras. For example, if you had percentages, it might not be important to round out to the hundredths place. You might instead just say, hey, we want to know if it's 12%, 13% in general. So that's a time where you would change the formatting here as well. But that's basically it. Again, like and subscribe if this was helpful. Thanks for listening.